All right, we'll start the September the 1st meeting. We'll have the Pledge of Allegiance by Commissioner Wilson. I'll say the prayer, and then we'll have a roll call. City Clerk, please stand. Heavenly Father, we appreciate the time we have to be here tonight with our commissioners and fellow citizens and let them see that what we're doing for the city of Ocoee and the things are moving in the right direction for our city. We pray that you watch out over all the first responders and help us in this COVID-19, that we will eventually find a cure, that we can fix this and get on with our lives. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic which stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Commissioner Brinson?
Here.
Commissioner Wilson?
here.
Mayor Johnson?
Here?
Commissioner Firstner?
Here.
Commissioner Oliver?
Here.
Okay. I don't have that proclamation. Do we need to read it?
And the proclamation, once you signed it, we went ahead.
Okay, that's
we're gonna
good.
post
All right.
it.
Mayor, can you read the notice?
I will. I'm fixing to, yeah. All right. Public comment announcement. All interested parties are invited to be heard during the public comments and public hearing portion of the meeting. Due to the current state of emergency regarding COVID-19, City Hall is closed to the public. However, the city requests the public to call or email comments and/or questions to 407-554-7118 or citizens@ocoee.org. City staff will be standing by to ensure that your comments or questions come before the city commission during the meeting. All right. All right, now we go to staff.
I have nothing this evening, Mayor.
Commissioners' announcements. Commissioner Brinson,
Nothing at this time.
Commissioner Oliver,
Nothing at this time.
Commissioner Firstner, Commissioner Wilson.
Nothing at this time.
All right, public comments. We have to wait 3 minutes.
The only public comment I have is with regards to an item that's not on the agenda. Is that going to be after regular?
I should be at the end.
Yeah, yes.
Do what? I couldn't hear you.
That will be at the end of the meeting.
Okay, all right. All right, we're down to consent agenda. Need a motion.
Motion to approve?
Motion made by Commissioner Wilson to approve.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Oliver. Any more discussion? All right, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, like sign. Motion carries unanimously. All righty, let's go here to public. Let's see, let me make sure.
Number 9.
Number nine, first reading. First reading of ordinance for Brown property, 213 Bay Street, annexation and rezoning to plan unit development and land use plan, PUD, project AX 04-1980 and RZ 1904-43. Somebody going to do that? He's got, what's his name?
Yeah, this is just first reading, so I'll
You
just
first
go ahead
reading,
and
okay.
I'll
Go
read the
ahead.
title to those.
All right,
First is an ordinance of the City of Ocoee, Florida, annexing into the corporate limits of the City of Ocoee, Florida, certain real property containing approximately 0.30 acres located to the northwest of West Ohio Street, southwest of McKee Street, and directly west of Bay Street, pursuant to the application submitted by the property owner. Finding said annexation to be consistent with the Ocoee Comprehensive Plan, the Ocoee City Code, providing for and authorizing the updating of official city maps, providing direction to the city clerk, providing for severability, repealing inconsistent ordinances, providing an effective date. That was the annexation ordinance. This is the rezoning ordinance. An ordinance of the City of Ocoee, Florida, changing the zoning classification from Orange County R1A, single family, to City of Ocoee R1A, single family, on certain real property containing approximately 0.30 acres located to the northwest of West Ohio Street, southwest of McKee Street, and directly west of Bay Street, pursuant to the application submitted by the property owner. Finding such zoning to be consistent with the Ocoee Comprehensive Plan, providing for and authorizing the revision of the official city zoning map, repealing inconsistent ordinances, providing for severability, providing for an effective date.
Okay. Before we move to the second reading of ordinance, and we don't have any, I want to go ahead and read, now I forgot my announcements. The planning and zoning meeting scheduled for next week, Tuesday, September the 8th, has been canceled. The tentative budget public hearing is next week, Wednesday, September the 9th, at 6 p.m. And the final budget public hearing is Wednesday, September the 23rd at 6 p.m. Both meetings will be broadcasted live on Spectrum, Channel 493, with a live stream on the city's website at ocoee.org. And all interested parties are invited to be heard during the public comments and public hearings portion of the meeting. All right,
Mayor, could you just announce the second date on number 9?
the second date will be, hold on a minute, September the 13th, 2020.
September.
Second reading will be September 15th, 2020. Right. All right. Going to the regular agenda, number 10, approval of resolution amended bylaws, Exhibit A of resolution number 2019-010. Coordinate, is Ms. Dillard here?
They're actually on WebEx, both the coordinator and the OIC board member.
Are they on the line?
Correct, yes.
Okay. You want to speak?
Hello, Mayor and Commissioners. My
Hello.
name is Chelsea Mendez. Hello. My name is Chelsea Mendez, and I'm the new chairperson for the Ocoee Youth Council. I'm a resident of Ocoee and currently dual enrolled at Valencia College and Dr. Phillips High School. I began on the OIC last year during my 9th grade year. When I joined Ocoee Youth Council, I had the opportunity to attend legislative days this past February in Tallahassee. And the 4 of us, along with Mrs. Dillard, learned so much about how much government works and the importance of getting involved in our community. However, I was really surprised that there were not more students involved in the Ocoee Youth Council. So after that experience, I noticed that many of the other Florida youth groups had more members than our council. Excuse me?
Has joined the meeting.
Oh, Ms. Dillard joined the meeting?
Yes, I'm here. I couldn't get
Yes.
in, but I'm in.
Good. May I continue?
Yes, please.
Okay. I then learned that there were students who attended Ocoee High School and applied for the Ocoee Youth Council, but they were rejected because they were not residents of Ocoee, but they attended Ocoee High School. Mrs. Dillard began asking other Florida Youth Councils whether they had non-resident members and received 10 replies from other cities who graciously forwarded the resolutions and bylaws that helped us create our own updates. So if you refer to our resolution and bylaws, we are first requesting to reduce our council to no more than 9 members from 15 members to keep the council manageable for activities, trips, and decision-making purposes. Furthermore, we would like to allow up to 20% or 2 non-Ocoee residents enrolled in a public or private school in the city of Ocoee to be allowed to be a member of our council. So these members would still be committed to the city of Ocoee because they attend a city of Ocoee school and would be available to attend our monthly meetings in Ocoee. We currently have 7 OIC members. Mrs. Dillard is available to answer any questions that I'm unable to answer. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. All right. Ms. Dillard, do you have anything to say?
No, I don't have anything to add to that. I think she covered everything. Does anybody have any questions?
I'll get to that. Anybody got any questions?
I have one question. Ms. Dillard,
Yes.
how many, I did not hear how many other groups allow non-resident members in.
Just make some tea.
Say that again? Is
Okay. You canvassed other groups of youth groups. And I think that Ms. Chelsea just said that there was a number that you had come up with of who allowed non-residents in, and I couldn't hear.
Okay, so, yes, so for our group, we're going to reduce our group from 15 members to 9, and then we're going to allow up to 20% of the members to be non-resident. So if we had a full board of 9, we could only have 2 non-residents be part of our group. It could not be more than that.
No, what I'm asking is, I think I heard Chelsea say that you canvassed other youth councils and to find out
Oh,
how
yes,
many
yes, so
allowed,
it's-
and I could not get the number that she had
Yes.
mentioned.
10. So 10 responded back to me, let's put it that way. I sent it out to all of the Florida, the full list of Florida League of Cities. And so 10 cities actually responded to me, and I can tell you which ones those are if you want to know that.
Well, I just need to
I
know,
had
was it
that
8 out of 10, 5 out of 10?
There's
No, it's
20.
10 replies.
Well, no, there's 10 that replied, but there's 20, I want to say there's 23 cities as part of the league.
Right, but out of those 10, how many allowed non-resident members?
Yeah, there were 8, and I really considered all 10 of them because the 2 that didn't, they did schools that were outside of their city, and their, I think that's how it was. It's 2 outside of so 8 out of the 10
Okay, thank you.
that
So-
actually had non-residents.
Ms. Dillard, so if they're out, it's other schools, or not other schools, I'm sorry, but it'll be any of the schools in Ocoee, but they can live in, as long as they go to our schools.
Exactly, as long as they
Okay.
come to our school. And the reason why a lot of the
That's
cities
okay.
did that and why we felt like it was that way, those kids were, they're a part of our school system, so they're going to do things that are going to be right here in this city. So that's what. And anyway, our youth council anyway is going to focus on activities right here in the city of Ocoee, so that's why.
Okay, thank you. All right.
Sure.
We need a vote. Scott?
I had a quick question.
Go ahead.
Ms. Dillard, Commissioner Oliver, I had a quick question for you.
Sure.
And maybe one of the youth councils can answer this question. Are high school students still are required to do volunteer work, so many hours of volunteer work prior to graduation? Is that still one of the requirements?
How many hours there? It's really, and Chelsea, I don't know how it is that Dr. Phillips, but with the schools that I have dealt with in the past, most of them wanted you to have, I want to say, 60 hours, at least 60 hours over your school lifetime. But for many of the schools, it really was not a requirement. It really is something that they needed for their college applications or for other organizations or scholarships that they wanted to use. So the more hours, the better. And so just from my background of dealing with kids for so long, I really tried to get them to have over 100 hours of community service because, again, the more the better. So that's where we were on that.
Is that something that you're doing with the youth council, encourage them to get 100 hours of volunteer work?
Of course, and the hardest part for my youth council so far, and I can be honest about this, is that I have yet to get a form from any of them, and I keep telling them that they have to have their form from their school so that we can sign their volunteer hours off. So that's been the hardest part, to get them to do that, because so far, everybody who's been part of the youth council, they've already done community service hours. So they just have to give me the form. So that's difficult, whether it was OYC kids or even ones that I dealt with in some of the other programs that I do. But they hustle senior year because they need it, but we try to get the younger grades to have the same kind of diligence about it.
Thank you.
Can you send do you send a list of that to Melody, our city clerk, of where these hours are being put in at?
You mean the school? You mean where
Where they're volunteering
service has been done?
those hours? Yes, ma'am.
Oh, well, I could. They're personal ones or with the youth council themselves?
Youth council, the
You
ones
mean
you
the
said are,
hours?
the ones that are doing
okay.
whatever, how many hours they're volunteering to these places. We need to know where they're at.
Oh, sure, I can do that. We can do that.
Okay,
I have a question, one more question.
go ahead.
Yeah, no problem.
Dorcas, why do you think it's so
Yeah,
difficult to?
but you have to, but you,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
well, wait a minute, let me answer, I just wanted to mention, just remember that we haven't done anything from, well, we did the book bag drive, and it is a couple things we did, but remember, we've been off since February, so, we haven't had many volunteer, and our 3 students that would have done the most are the seniors that have already graduated. So I just want to just keep that in mind. This is our, last month was our first meeting. August was our first meeting, so.
Yeah, we had the book
February.
bag drive and the Juneteenth event with the representative.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. Those were the 2 so far, so. Okay, so like someone else had a
Go
question.
ahead, Commissioner.
I have one question. It's Rosemary.
Uh-huh.
Why do you think it's so difficult to get 9 students from the city signed? I mean, what problems are you running into? I mean, we need to advertise this, I'm sure. Most of us should probably put it out to our
Yes,
residents.
we've done not only advertising, we've done, the students themselves have spoken at like their student government and all of those kinds of things. We have given out applications, even at Juneteenth, I had the young lady that, I don't know if, for those of you that were there, the young lady that spoke right from the beginning, at least.
Rain Bellamy?
Rain Bellamy.
Yeah.
She has yet to send me her application, even though we have spoken at least 4 or 5 times. So it's just a lot of the students that have interest in, especially in city government or finding out more about politics and those kinds of things. They've been very busy with other activities, and sometimes something like this goes on the back burner. I know the mayor had asked at the last meeting, he mentioned to me about, why can't I think of this? West Orange High School. And I've reached out to them several times and have yet to get even one application from West Orange High School. Most of the applications, and the reason why we did the non-residents, were from kids that were non-residents, but they went to Ocoee High School. So our biggest supporter has been Ocoee High School because we've gone through student government and we've gone through the principal there and everything. So the word's out, but it's just getting the students to actually make a commitment, even the ones that have decided to make a commitment to have them show up at the meetings, which was another part of the changes in the bylaws. We want to be consistent with some of the other boards, advisory boards for the city, and if they don't show up for 3 meetings, that they can be removed. Because it's very difficult. I've had to have a few of them resign because they have not made the commitment either to come to the meetings or involve themselves in the activities that we've already scheduled, that they've decided to schedule in many cases. So, yeah, it just seems to be something that's happening. Not like the organizations that called me back or sent me emails with their bylaws. They've had the same issue of just getting the kids to make that commitment and keep the commitment.
Ms. Dorcas? Ms. Dorcas?
Yes.
May I add to that real quick, if that's all right with Commissioner Rosemary?
Yes.
Yes, you may. Yes, you do.
Okay. Yeah, so I believe a few of the roadblocks may be that we may not have the social media attractions that most students would like or be attracted to. I believe we had maybe took advantage of some of the social media platforms like Instagram and Snapchat and Twitter, those platforms that kids are consistently on. If we were to promote that, or the council consistently and, use the terminology and use TikTok and really attract the students like that, I believe you could get them more involved. Also, we could probably advertise it in the newspapers or get in contact with local businesses to promote it in their restaurants or their local businesses. Again, last month was Black Business Month, so we can maybe reach out to businesses. I know Ms. Dorcas has already reached out to some of the schools, but maybe it may be better to see these people personally, maybe. I know some of the time they may have open house, things like that, so we could promote the council there. Just a few ideas. But I believe the roadblocks may be that it's just the source of connection that we're using.
All right.
That may be an
Good
attorney
point.
question, whether you can use Snapchat and those kind of things. I don't know, honestly.
Yeah.
Can you use are we controlled
that.
as to what we're supposed to do with those
Yeah,
social media sites?
there are some things you can do. The issue becomes when people are allowed to comment on it, you can't. Once you open it up, it becomes public, and it's hard to monitor and dictate what comments you're going to keep and which ones you aren't. But advertising, putting it
True.
on Facebook or Instagram with the setting of not receiving comments is probably the best way to go.
Okay.
All right, so
Okay.
no more comments, we'll need to vote. Somebody needs to make a motion.
I got a question. That's a feature I wasn't really aware of when it comes to groups. So our city website, our city Facebook page, it's a closed page. You can't post on it, or how does that work? Does it work the same way?
I think I don't know, it's been a while since we looked at it. I know the police department had a Facebook page that they would post things, but not allow comments. So I don't know all of the city websites if they all accept comments or not. But the issue becomes, if you are going to let comments come in, then it's very difficult to monitor, to exclude or
Yeah.
remove some comments and not other comments.
So if we can actually advertise but close it off for comments, that would be
That would be
acceptable.
my recommendation. That was my
Okay, got
recommendation
it.
when this first came, when we started talking to the police department doing Facebook, was go ahead and do the Facebook, just don't allow people to comment.
Good comment. Okay, thank you.
All right, we need a motion.
Okay.
I'll make a motion.
Motion made by Commissioner Oliver on item 10, resolution. Do I hear a second?
I'll second that.
Second by Commissioner Wilson. Any more comments? No more comments. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, like side. Motion carries. Congratulations. Thank you very much.
Great. Thank you. Thank you, Chelsea. You did a great job.
Thank you, Ms. Dillard, and thank you, Mayor Johnson and the commissioners.
All right, thank you. Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Aye.
Staff actions.
I have nothing,
All right,
Mayor.
now we're at the
I know we had public comments, a second.
Yeah, I
public
know, that's
comment.
what I'm
Okay.
fixing.
All right, thanks.
Dillard?
I'm fixing to bring that up. She has a
Has
public
left the
comment.
meeting.
Melanie, city clerk.
Hi, this is Melanie, and we have you now, available, ready to speak in the public comment, so I'm just gonna put you on hold real quick so I can put you on speakerphone. And I will put the timer on, and I can let you know once the timer is up, okay? Okay, darling, we're ready.
Hi, how are you? Thank you so much. So, Honorable Mayor Rusty Johnson and City Commissioner, City Manager, and staff, thank you so much for allowing me a brief time to speak tonight. As you may know, I'm a reporter and anchor with WSTV Channel 9 here in Orlando, and am currently producing a special about the history of Ocoee to include the settlement and establishment of the city and the events leading up to November 2nd, 1920, and what followed. As part of my research, I've spoken with about 24 people, including but not limited to local, statewide, and national historians, descendants, current Ocoee residents, longtime and newly residing residents, and political leaders. I've read several books, the theses of Lester Dabbs, a government accountability study focused on that part of Ocoee's history, legal research and reviews in countless national and local newspaper archives articles. Our special was to educate our community about this part of American history, taking a broader scope to show that what happened in Ocoee in 1920 is not unique in that it was part of a wider story being inked about Black culture and its fight to gain independence through education and financial stability. We've secured interviews with 17 to 18 people, including city officials, who will help walk us through this journey and what followed here, and more importantly, the character of Ocoee now. Earlier this week, I reached out to Mark Johnson as Director of Parks and Rec to inquire about utilizing space at Lakeshore facility to conduct our interviews. He indicated that the dates were available, but asked that I allow him to defer to the city manager. During a phone call later in the day, Mr. Johnson followed up and indicated that after his discussion with the city manager, they determined that I would need to make a request during this meeting. So I've come before you tonight to request that we be allowed to utilize this city space to conduct our interviews Tuesday, September 8th through Thursday, September 10th. I implore on you because the work we are doing is serving a greater good and such that we have allowed ourselves time to adequately research this subject matter in an effort to share a piece of Ocoee, of what it looked like then and what it looks like now. And what better place to share that story than right here in Ocoee, and what better way to show how far the city has come than to allow those who have the historical context and compelling stories about what this city has been through and where the city is trying to go to share their stories right here in the city of Ocoee. Thank you so much for your time, and I look forward to hearing from you.
So what was the dates?
September 8th through the 10th.
Yeah, September 8th through the 10th, so it's Tuesday through Thursday.
November or September?
September.
September. Okay, commissioners, comments. I would say that I don't have a problem. I know that sometimes commissioners say something about giving out the place without charging, so.
How many people are gonna be present?
Why could we have it in, why couldn't we have it in here?
Is she interviewing
I'm
one-
sorry, if you're asking me a question, I can't hear.
Oh, I got this, man, I'm sorry. So, how many people do you think is gonna be for the interviews?
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's actually a great question. I'm glad you brought that up. So we have confirmed 17, 18 interviews. One is questionable because their age. We might actually have to go to their home. But we're not going to have all these people in the building at once, obviously, because of the CDC guidelines. We've scheduled them with enough time where only one person would be in the space at a time, along with my photographer and the crew we have helping us to set up. So there will be 4 people, in the room at a time. And we're left enough space so that we can sanitize equipment in between each person and the seating and all that kind of stuff because of concerns about COVID.
Yeah. All right, hold on. So all you would need is, you don't need the big room, just the small room?
Yeah, just a small room. And I think there's one photo on your website that kind of shows a really beautiful picture outside with a big window. I don't know if that's
Yeah.
the small room or the big room.
I think that's the lake room.
Lakeshore?
The lake view room. We call it the lake room or
No,
something.
they're talking Lakeshore Center. Yes. Okay, no, it's just difficult, I'm trying to follow what.
All right, so, excuse me, let's let the commissioners discuss it and see what we need to do here. I think we just need a consensus, right, Rob or Scott? Yep. All right,
Yeah, Mayor, if you, if by consensus, if you all want to go ahead with this, we can arrange it, and
all
I talked briefly with
right, I'm okay with it.
I'm okay as long as they're maintaining CDC standards, social sanitizing, and they're having to know more than, 3 people at a time in there, that's 4?
4.
Okay, you're closer to the microphone.
All right. You
My
okay?
biggest concern is COVID.
You're okay with
My
it?
biggest concern is COVID, yes.
What about?
No, I'm good with it. Yeah, I'm okay with it.
All right, so, we have all the consensus is it's okay, so I guess what you can do is go back to Mark Johnson and set it up, Rob? Is that okay? Darlene?
Oh, wow, thank you so much. Wow, thank you. I really appreciate it.
Just work through,
wow,
work through
thank you.
the Department of Recreation guys, okay?
Absolutely, yeah, thank you. I'll be in touch with them tomorrow then. Thank
right.
you so much,
All
Mayor,
right.
Commissioners, and City Manager for your time.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. That all the citizens' comments?
That is, yes.
All right, Commissioner Wilson, comments from commissioners.
Do we have to wait 3 minutes?
Huh?
Do we have to wait the 3 minutes on that?
I
No?
don't know, ask her.
No? Okay. No, the only thing I have to say is that please remember that September 9th and September 23rd are our budget hearings. This is your budget as a resident. Please review the budget. It's online. Watch us on TV. Call in. Call your commissioners in the meantime. Let us discuss concerns you may have. We, I feel, as a commission in our earlier meetings, the workshops, we've been very concerned about keeping the millage rate as low as we can, and I thank the city staff because they've brought it in at 5.15, and I think they've made very diligent efforts to keep the budget down and controlled, and remembering that we're in a tough time right now, but we do want to maintain the services that we have, that we've all become accustomed to enjoy as a city resident. So again, please remember September 9th and September 23rd at 6 p.m. Thank you.
Commissioner Firstner.
Everybody should adhere to the COVID safety protocols. They seem to be working, and hopefully pretty soon we'll get back to normal. There's signs of that around already. And be ever vigilant about hurricane season. It's about the highway right now. The storms are starting to line up in the Atlantic and the Caribbean, so pay attention. Don't get too lax.
Commissioner Oliver.
Yes, just want to reiterate about COVID-19. Our kids are back in school now. I think the numbers reflect that half of our kids are back in school face-to-face, and the other half is launch ED, so they're actually studying from home. I do know that the school board is working with the state health department as well as the CDC. Things are changing daily, so please pay attention to the school board meetings or any information that the school board is putting out, and they seem to be putting out on a daily basis. Again, because we want to protect our children as well as ourselves. So again, COVID-19 is definitely is slightly on the rise, but we're hoping that it should plateau and start going down within the next couple of months. And again, also as Commissioner Firster said, don't forget, because we're in a pandemic of COVID-19, it is still hurricane season. So if you see someone passing out hurricane preparedness guides, please take them, because it is a wealth of information in those guides, from phone numbers to call individuals for power lines down, tree hit your house. There's numbers that you can call that you can get someone to get there pretty quickly in the midst of an emergency.
Commissioner Brinson.
Again, I'm going to ditto what's already been said, but also will say that because school is back in session, remember that there's school buses out there and there's kids walking to school, going through crosswalks and the like. And it's important that we pay close attention because it's been months and months since we've had our school children and high schoolers out going to and from school. But as we bear witness, I'd like to talk about something else, and that is the unrest that's in America. I ask that we pay close attention and have empathy for those who have been victimized by some of the tragic events going around the country. Some people are exercising and practicing a philosophy of exclusion instead of inclusion. I ask that we be mindful that we all need each other. I believe in Black Lives Matter, but I'm also one of those who also believe that all lives matter. And so I ask that everyone circle the wagons and become one community again. We can do it, but we can't do it alone. Everybody's got to be at the table, and if you don't have a seat at the table, bring your own chair.
All right. I was thinking about what all of you said about the schools, and it's been one of the quietest openings for schools that we've had in a long time. And I know that might be because of not having the number of children doing it, but it has been whatever our staff's doing with our police and our departments, they've done a great job. I know a lot of times we get a lot of problems with the parking questions on the roads and the streets, and I haven't seen that. I know y'all might have seen them, but I haven't seen them, so that's great. I think, like you said, one of the biggest things, one of the surest things is our kids are our safety for our children, and that also goes on hands along with the COVID-19. We want to make sure we all protect our children and our citizens. So I think our staff has kept up on the COVID-19. I appreciate that. I know the fire department sends out updates, the state sends out updates, and I also get updates from the county. So once again, I think our state has done a good job keeping up with that. Also, and I know Commissioner Britt's probably seen it, they're starting on Fuller's Crossroad intersection. So we're probably gonna get some phone calls out of that, but it'll be good phone calls because we've been waiting a long time to get that intersection done. So that is finally coming, gonna happen. So we appreciate that. I know the staff's worked on it a long time. Orange County's worked on it also. So that's a big part of what's going on. I also would like to say the Public Works needs to make sure that all our potholes, with all this rain we're getting, is checked in all the neighborhoods. I know it's a tough job, but all these neighborhoods, there's a lot of potholes going on right now because of this weather and rain. So if we could keep that in mind, to let people, some of our staff, as they're riding around, watch for potholes and overflowing ditches and stuff like that. So it would be a big help. We've been real lucky about the water flooding. I know I got a call today from the county. They want to get with us about what is it, Hackney Prairie Lake? The one over there behind Arden Park on the
that's Lake Meadow.
Lake Meadow, and they wanting to get together with that, Rob. So I told them we'd get together and talk. So because of the chance of flooding, but the other thing is we're still having some problems, and I want the police to check getting these this dope thing has kind of got going again. So we'd like to make sure the police are. I sent a thing to the deputy chief today, and she told me they're going to get right on it because there's still some problems in town with some places that are having that problem with heroin or whatever it is, and they need to see if we can address that. Some of the parents have called, so I turn it over to the deputy chief and them and see what they can do. So I also want to let everybody know, and I don't know the exact dates. We have an election coming up this year, and I know November's not ours. Ours is March. Do you have a date on that yet?
And was it the election for March?
March. I know November we don't have anything, so.
Usually the second.
We got a meeting on November the 3rd, the election day, a presidential election.
March
So.
9th.
March the 9th. So what is the qualifying dates for that?
Qualifying is going to be January 15th.
January the 15th is qualifying,
The 22nd.
March the 9th. So we got the other ones on November the 3rd is our meeting in November, so that'll be a busy night also. So I just want everybody to pay attention. One of the problems we have in the city, I think, with the many people we don't have enough people get out and vote. We need to get people out to vote. This is the time, like I said, we want people to be aware of what's going on. This is a time for them to get out and vote. Make sure you tell your friends, your neighbors, that this is the time you can get out and speak your piece and all. I'm the same thing. I believe in the freedom of being able to say stuff, but I also believe in you go about it in the way that the law says do it. And we all have to adhere to what the law says. But I think our city is I don't know now, the other one is the census, Rob. What's the deal on the census? Nobody's brought it up, nobody's said anything.
The only thing we've heard from the mayor is they're looking for some additional time at the Lakeshore Center also, which I got to discuss with Mark. They had a few more days too, but they've not really been updating us or anything. Perhaps if we toss them a few more days that they can kind of use that as their base for a few days to hit the local area of the houses that they have to visit, we can get some more information as to
Well, isn't it a deadline in
participation
September or
is.
something? What's the deadline?
I don't know off the top of my head.
We need to see if we can find out and let everybody know. I would.
We actually did, and just so y'all know, they did ask us for a few more dates. We let them use it, seeing as how it was the federal government. They just needed a place to store some of their stuff and to actually use as a base for a few days. And they do have some more requests in for that. We try to help them out as long as
Yeah.
they're not displacing any paying entities who are going to, pay us to use the
Can
facility.
you let us
So-
know the deadline on that? And
I'm sorry?
Will they call us or send us a thing on it, on the census?
The only, like I said, the only communications we've had from them in general terms have been like
Yeah.
overall participation rate in the whole country. I don't think they've given us anything
All right.
drilled down to the county or anything like
All
that.
right. The other thing is, real quick, and I know a lot of you haven't been here a long time, and you have, but the lady, one of our citizens passed away last week, and she was around 95 years old. She was a school teacher back here in the day when I first got here in the 5th grade. She also was a real estate broker. She was a horse aficionado that owns a horse farm. She was one of the ladies in our town that, when I first got my real estate, I worked for her, and there was 5 ladies. She was in, you have to read her obituary thing on the thing and look at all the stuff that lady did from the time she came to Ocoee. So if you get a chance, look up Miss Tommen. She was also the original of the Betty Jade's Florist with her daughters. All right. Let's see, September the 9th at 6 o'clock? 6 o'clock? All right, for the public hearing for budget. All right, meeting adjourned.